Hello and welcome back to another session for Corby's puppetry course. This week we're going to be taking our sculpted marionettes and painting them. So this week you will need some paint, some paint brushes and your nail files. So I think we should pick up where we left off last week.
It's now been a few hours and as you can see the milliput is all nice and hard, so we can move on to the painting. If you are planning on painting your marionette, I'd recommend giving it a quick sanding first, as this will help the paint stick to the plastic. You can use your nail file for this. You don't need to sand the milliput, but I would just have a quick smooth over of all the plastic bits. So I've given this guy a little bit of a sanding, so now the paint should stick to it nicely. We're going to be painting our marionette in a very similar way to how we painted our cardboard puppets back in our first sessions. I'm going to base the whole thing with a nice grey colour, which will help with the other layers. Remember, it's good to mix this paint with a little bit of water. So I'm going to start off by covering my entire puppet with a grey undercoat. I do this because it allows my base colours to come through a bit nicer. You may find that you need a couple layers of paint to really get the colour you want shining through. I've now painted the initial base coat on my marionette. If you wanted to, you could leave your puppet here, but if you want to increase some of your painting skills, here are a few things you can try out. The first thing I'm going to show you is called a wash. Now this is a technique which helps highlight some of the recessed areas of your puppet. I'm going to be using this to show off some of the detail I've added to my hair and beard. First of all, mix your desired colour. I'm going to go for a light brown. Now you only want a small amount of this, as we're going to be adding lots of water. So I've got my desired colour, so now what we need to do is add lots and lots of water to really water this down. We want our paint to be really, really runny. Make sure you put it in a tub with sides so your paint doesn't spill out everywhere. Takeaway containers are perfect for this. A good way to see if your consistency is right is just pull your paintbrush out and make sure it drips. So just put it in your paint, and if it's nice and drippy, you know you've got enough water. So now our wash paint is all mixed up. I'm going to paint it all over the hair. So now I've added the wash to my puppet. Now if I want to, I can leave this to dry and we'll get a nice brown sheen over all of the puppet. But what I want to do is only have the brown in the recesses. So I'm going to use some kitchen roll to wipe away some of the excess paint. So what you need to do is grab your kitchen roll and just wipe over all of the puppet. And you'll see you'll start to collect some paint on your kitchen roll. And a wash is as easy as that. I'm going to leave this to dry for a little bit and then we can move on to our next technique. Now this is almost opposite to a wash. Rather than highlighting the recessed areas, it's going to highlight the edges. So first things first is to decide what colour you're going to use for your dry brush. I recommend going for a lighter colour than what is on your base. I'm going to demonstrate how it works on the shoes, but you can apply this technique anywhere you like. So for the shoes, I'm going to go for a light brown. Now for a dry brush, you want as little paint on your puppet as possible. So first of all, take some paint and a paper towel. And we're just going to get rid of as much of this paint as possible. So nice and messy, we want to get rid of it until it's a nice powdery consistency. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go back and forth along our shoe, and the higher edges are going to catch the paint. It's a subtle effect, but it will add lots of detail to your puppet. Now I'm going to do the same thing on the legs of my puppet to make them look like jeans. So same again, I'm going to get some kitchen roll and lie that down, grab a little bit of the paint and get rid of as much of it as possible until it's nice and powdery, and then I'll be able to just go on top of the jeans. If you want to speed up the process, you can also use an old makeup brush. I like this technique because you can be nice and rough. I'm happy with my trousers, so now I'm going to move on to the hair. So a little bit of paint Take it all off on your kitchen roll and brush it onto the hair. I'm going to go all over the hair to really bring out that detail. So I finished painting my puppet, so the last thing to do is add the eyes. So in your little bag of bits there are some eyes and some blue tack. It's nice and simple. All you need to do is get your blue tack, put it in your eyes and stick it onto your face. You can also use Milliput. And there we go, my marionette is all decorated. Well, thank you so much for joining me for this week's session. I hope you've had a lot of fun painting your marionette. Don't forget to join one of our Zoom sessions on Tuesdays 6 till 7 or Wednesdays 4 till 5. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.